Okay, this is the last week for this semester, and I'm gonna go over lab 6 for week 7, which is due June 19. Make sure you submit it on time. And also make sure you finish your quiz 6 and final review. So quiz 6, it's also due June 19, and also final review is for grade. Final review. Not the exam, the review is for grade. So make sure you submit all those assignments by June 19. So I'm going to start with some of those questions which are about evaluating factorial. And factorial is, let me explain what is factorial, but it's really easy. You just plug it in the calculator, and you're using factorials for permutation, combination, and also many other applications. So what is factorial? Like here I have to do -6 factorial. So negative, and then you multiply 6, start multiplying 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. Here we get to 1, and you multiply all these numbers. You don't need to do it by hand. There is an option on your calculator, and I'm going to show you right now how to do it. But this is what factorial means. Like if I have to do 5 factorial, you start 5, 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? 7 factorial is 7 times 6 times all the way to 1. Okay? So that's what factorial means. And let me show you how to do it on your calculator. So having your calculator, the factorial is right, where it is, let me see, is right in here. Different colors so you can see. This is factorial. So you're going to press, for example, if I want to do -6 factorial, that's exactly what you need to press. So press this negative down here, the negative because it's a negative symbol. And then you click at 6 and then factorial. And then when you press enter, it's going to give you the answer. Okay? Now, that's how you do it with your calculator. I'm going to calculate this using Symbol app, which is online calculator, but my ground classes on ground, they cannot use Symbol app. So they have to use the calculator provided. So I'm just going to show -6, and then you put exclamation mark in the keyboard. And the answer is -720. And here they give you step by step how to do it, what is the rule and all that. So -720 is my answer. Okay, you don't do anything, just calculate it. The same way you do in number 2. Number 2 is another calculator. 7 factorial minus 5 factorial. You just enter it exactly the way it is. You don't do anything. So I'm going to go here. It was 7 factorial minus 5 factorial. And then the answer is 4,920. And that's my answer. So all these factorials, you just enter it the way it is, and that's it. We're going to see in a little bit down here, we're going to see after the sequences for number 8 and number 9. Let me skip here. Number 8 and number 9, we're using permutation and combination. And for those formulas you're using, there is a formula which includes factorial. So let me show you the formula. So having your handout from class, these are the formulas, and also these are the questions. So having your formula, or you can just copy the formulas from here, permutation and combination. So notice P, the letter P means permutation, and then the given number here are N and K. So if I want to do permutation, let's see, the first one is permutation, yes. So if I want to do permutation, I'm gonna use this formula, which is n factorial over n minus k in parentheses. So make sure when you plug it in, make sure it looks exactly like that, n minus k in parentheses, and then put factorial in there. So you have to look exactly like that. Okay? And that's the permutation. So now going back to, I'm going to do the one in WebAssign so I can check the answer and show you. Oops, sorry. So here you go. So in this case, n is 10 and k is 3. I'm sorry, this is k and this is a. So plugging it into the formula, I'm going to have 10 factorial over 10 minus 3 in parentheses factorial. So that's what I need to go to WebAssign or in your calculator. If you plug this in your calculator, you have to put fraction first. So I'm going to put fraction, 10 factorial, and that's what I'm doing here also. So I'm going to click, I have fraction here also. This is the fraction. Click on that. And then I'm going to put 10 factorial over, I need to go on the bottom, parentheses 10 minus 3, close it, and then you put factorial. And the answer is 720. Okay, 720 down here. And going back to my, so the answer is just put 720 there. Okay, so that's how you do the permutation. The combination, you're using the formula for combination. The difference is you still have n and k. You have the first number is n, the second is k. The difference is the formula here have k factorial in the bottom. I'm sorry, right now. Okay, so this is the formula for combination for C. So we already did that. I'm going to scratch it. And we're going to plug it in. So it's going to be 12 is n factorial over 3 factorial. And then you have 12 minus 3. What is factorial? So that's what you're going to plug it in the calculator. You can just put it exactly like that on your calculator. Or I'm going to use my symbol up calculator. And I have 12 in the top and then 3 factorial in front and then 12 minus 3, just like that. And the answer is 220. Okay, 220. Whatever you get, just plug it in. And that was good. Okay, so now going back to these few questions here, we have number 3 and number 4. Let me explain number 3 and 4 about sequence. So what is sequence? Sequence is just list of numbers and there is a pattern. So what you need to do, sometimes you have to add some numbers in that sequence. Sometimes when it says find the sum means add some of the numbers in the sequence. Sometimes you have to find the next term, and that's exactly what you have for number 3 and 4. It says find the next term. So what you need to do is just have to look at the sequence and see what is the pattern. So here, usually if the sequence is increasing, if the numbers are getting bigger and bigger, that means you're adding or you're multiplying by something. If the numbers are getting smaller and smaller, like number 4, that means you are subtracting or you're dividing by number. But you have to figure it out. Now, if none of those works, you have to look like each number individually is going to be square or cube or exponent fourth. And you just kind of break it down, the number down like prime factorization and figure it out. So looking at my number 3, looking at the numbers, all of those numbers there, they're exponent 4 because 2 to the 4 power is 16. 3 to the 4 power is 81. How I know that? I'm just breaking it down like this, all of the numbers. 81 is 9 times 9, right? And 9 break down to like 3 times 3. And the other 9 is 3 times 3. So actually 81 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which means 3 to the 4 power. So 3 to the 4 is 81. The same way you do 16 is 4 times 4. Each of those is 2 and 2. That gives me 2 to the 4. And this 256 is 4 to the 4. So when you rewrite, and of course 1 is with any power, that's why I did skip it, but 1 to the any exponent is 1. So looking at this sequence with rewritten in this form, 1 to the 4, 2 to the 4, 3 to the 4, 4 to the 4, can you tell me what is going to be the next number? Obviously, there's a pattern, and it's going to be 5 to exponent 4. Now, the question is, what is 5 to the 4? You have your calculator, just plug it in, and that's 625. So that's my answer, 625. Okay, so you're going to have square or cube or fourth, break it down, and you'll see what exactly it is. Now, the next one is the same way. We have another sequence, but this is a little easier. So because the sequence is decreasing, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller. From 20 to get 17, what you do? You subtract 3, right? From 17 to 13, you subtract 4. From 13 to 8, what you're going to subtract? I'm going to subtract 5. So what is the pattern? From 20, you subtract 3, subtract 4, subtract 5. What you're going to do next? You're going to subtract 6, right? So what is 8 minus 6? That's the question. 8 minus 6 is 2. So that's the answer. The answer is the next term in that sequence is 2. Okay? That's how you do number 4. And then the rest of it, 5, 6, and 7 on this sequence, about sequence, you need to find the sum. So number 5, let me explain 5, and then 6 and 7 also sum. Find the sum. So here we have a sequence. They give me what is called general term. General term means a formula how to calculate each number. And it says find the sum of the first 5. So this is the formula. An equals 4n. So what that means, the first 5. So that means n is gonna be 1, 2, the first 5 numbers technically. 3, 4, and 5. And then what you do with those 5 numbers? You're going to plug it in into the given formula. The formula is 4n. So when n is 1, I'm going to get what? 4 times 1, which is 4. The next one is going to give me 4 times 2 when I plug it into n for 2. N is 2. And that gives me 8. Do the same for the 3. Replace n with 3. So that's 12. Then replace n with 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, and then you replace n with 5. I'm sorry, 4 times 5. Which is 20. And what you need to do, this is your sequence. This is the actual sequence. 4, 8. So what's happened? You multiply each number by 1 to 5 by whatever is the formula there. Follow the formula. And then all these numbers are your sequence. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. When you add these 5 numbers, that's going to be the answer. So let's add them. So this is 20, 20, 60. I think I get 60. So when you add those numbers, I get 60. Let's see if I made a mistake. So just plug it in. Okay, that was good. So here you have given, remember, you follow the formula. Whatever the formula they give you here, they give me 4n. And you replace n with that 5 numbers, 1 to 5. And then add the numbers you get. Now, number 6 and number 7, they're absolutely the same way. They just look a little different. And sigma, find the sum. So again, you're going to add numbers here. This symbol sigma means k is changing from 3, from this number here, to the top number 6. And this is the formula how to calculate each number for k. So here the number k, instead of n, they have k, which is the same idea. So k is going to be 3. K is 4. So you start from 3 and you finish at 6. 5 and 6. So k is from the bottom to the top number, and the formula is 4k. So it's going to be 4 times 3, 4 times 4, and all the way the same way. 4 times 5, you replace n with the given number. 4 times 6. So that's 12. You add in 12 and 16 and 20 and 24. And then when you add those numbers, what you have? 2 and 1, 72. I get 72. Let's see. Okay, that was good. And then the last one is the same way. But here the formula is a little more complicated. So here k is going to be from 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the formula. So it's going to be, start from 2. 2 squared plus 2 times 2. You replace all the k with 2. So this is 4 plus 4 is 8. Oh. Then you replace k with 3. 3 squared plus 2 times 3. So that's 9 plus 6. Why is doing that? 15. Then you replace it with 4. Two times 4. So we have 16 plus 8, which is 16 plus 8 is 24. And one more time. 5, because you have to finish at 5. So you have 5 squared plus 2 times 5. 5 squared is 25 plus 10 is, why is doing that? Oh my gosh, equals 35. And then we're going to add these numbers. So we add in 8. What is calculator? I'm not going to act like a superhero right now. 8 plus 15 plus 24 plus 35 is 82. And that's the final answer. That's what you're doing. You just replace starting from k, which starting from 2 to 5, and just follow the formula. So I get 82. Okay? And that was number 7. We did 8 and 9. Now, the rest of it is probability. So what is probability? We're talking about simple probability. So probability is a number between 0 and 1. And probability is the number, is the ratio between the number of what they're asking you. So how many of what they're asking over the total number. That's the formula. It's like a formula over the total. total number of whatever they're asking. Okay, so now here we have ordinary die, right? Which have 6 sides. So what is the probability of rolling a number greater than 5? How many numbers greater than 5? Only one. Only 6 is greater than 5. So 1, they're asking how many are greater than 5? Only 1 is greater than 5. And the total number is 6. So that's the probability, 1 over 6. Now, you have to leave the answer as a fraction. So even if you put it in the calculator and you get a decimal, you have to change it to fraction because that's how web assign operate. You have to have the answer in fraction form, okay? Next one is the same idea. So you have this spinner here. You have to spin it, and what is the probability the spinner stops on green? How many green spots we have here? How many green? There are only 1, 2 greens. So probability is 2 out of how many there are total? 8. Now you can reduce that 1/4, or you can just, I'll try to put it like 2, 8. Oops, sorry. Well, I'm just gonna leave it like that. 1/4 is the answer. I just wanna double check if you submit it without reducing it. Okay, yeah, that works also. So you don't have to reduce it. See, right, how many are the spot they ask in green? 2 over 8. Okay, the next one is the same one, probability. So what is the probability of drawing a club? And now, when you're talking about cards, there are 52 cards. There are 4 different, what is called, suites. So we have heart, we have diamond, we have club, and we have spade. So these are 4 different suites. So what you need to do, what is the probability of drawing a club? Club is one of those out of 4. So the probability is 1 out of 4. Now, you can do this in different way. You can count all the clubs. So we have starting with 2, 3, 4, all the way the numbers to 10. Then you have ace, we have king, queen, and jack. And the total number of clubs is 13. So there are 13 clubs out of 52 cards. There are 52 cards. When you reduce 13 over 52, you're going to get the same. So you can look at this in different way, which is 1 out of 4. Or you can put 13 over 52, it's going to be the same. Okay, and then we have one more, which is about, here we have survey. So they did survey of 315 people, and they asked them about, some of them are doctor, teachers, and lawyers. They asked them about a proposed piece of legislation, and this is the results. So in this table, so looking at this table, you have, see the first column here, it says how many favor the legislation, and the last one is the total. The second one is how many oppose the legislation. This is the total of people oppose. How many have no opinion, the total of no opinion. And then if you look at like row by row, you have, these are all the doctors, and the total number of doctors is 122 doctors. There are 128 teachers. So it breaks down like in doctors and favor or oppose the legislation. And the number down here is the total, the grand total, the total of people surveyed. So now the question is, looking at this table, what is the probability the person favored the legislation? So how many favor the legislation? 186 in favor, divided by the total number, which is 315. So 186 over 315. And again, you can reduce this, or you can just leave it like that. You can simplify this, but you can just leave it like that. It's gonna be okay. 315. And let's check the answer. Okay, that was good. And that's conclude the video and the lecture for week 7. This is the last week. Again, make sure you submit everything by Sunday. So make sure you submit your lab 6, quiz 6, and the final review is part of your grade by Sunday. June 19. And make sure you double check your table in the top here. Make sure you get your hundreds, okay? Good luck on your final exam. You got this.